To all you will make it TV subscribers and supporters across the globe, we appreciate your support. All the way from our homes to yours. Good evening or morning, should I say? From You Will Make It TV, subscribe. Please hit that like button. We've come this evening today really to gather, first of all, in condolences and positive thoughts and prayers, sending that energy. And if you don't feel that way, just don't even tune into the topic. Skip, click on another video, because none of us should really be able to just sleep peacefully knowing the fresh update of news that is people dying of hunger in Gaza right now. I'll be your audio host tonight, Arthur Tetasheri Whitney. I'm also a poet, a speaker. For those that might be new to the channel, this is what I like to do, especially when it comes to humanitarian topics, because it's not just about the statistics or just about who's hungry and why. It's about what we're doing about it, and that's what we're going to talk about a little bit on this topic today. I'm happy to be back though. If in case you did miss our segment from earlier, let me say this: all of our topics are inspired to be insightful topics. When we say insightful topics, that's what we mean. Not just me giving the insight, but us together encouraging society and the masses like that in our communities to give more of these situations that surround our lives every day more insight. Insight is not just what looks like something on the surface or what you heard through the grapevine. Insight is exactly what it sounds like. And the insight about this situation is actually very disheartening, for real. Like, I don't even know. Y'all just, that's that humanitarian side of me though, for real. Like, it shows you how real and close to home it can get for any country, city, community right now. If people are not, it's not about fear mongering or putting people in a place of doubt. Like, y'all know people were saying that a while back, stock up on food. Make sure you're prepared. I ain't gonna say a while back, people are still encouraging that we do that. What do y'all think about it? Because in a minute, there's no way to talk about this without bringing up how even in our own country here, I mean, it's still in the works. Some states, EBT has already been cut. The program, like, I'm not gonna say I heard it from anybody directly yet, really, but you see those TikTok stories, and with TikTok stories, you really don't know if people be just spreading misinformation or what. But I don't think that's people wouldn't get on the internet and lie and say, look, I'm not getting Snap anymore all of a sudden. You know what I mean? That's a real change that's been happening in our country. But I want to focus on Gaza. Once again, I started it off just wanting to send positive thoughts. And it don't take me too many news articles. I couldn't even really fully watch it. And it's real life reality. And I can stomach a lot. Literally, talking about me personally, like, I can stomach things for the sake of reality or getting the real truth about something. Like, not saying I know all the truth about Gaza and what they're going through over there, but the truth about humanitarian crisis, something like hunger and starvation, which we know there have been several third world countries. People right here probably in our own country is hungry sometimes. So it's always a sensitive topic when you bring this one to the table. How people are feeding their families, how they have been keeping their families fed, and how they plan to keep them fed in the future. How is that never not an insightful topic? You can always hit that like button to show your support. Share our stream. That way other viewers might want to tune in. A lot of people say they just don't catch me when I'm live, and that's okay. That's why we go back and repost these stream topics that we do with You Will Make It TV, and I'll continue to do that because people can't always catch you live. We all live different lives, and that's the thing. Everybody is busy trying to do what we're talking about on this live today, and that's feed their families. I always was. I said, maybe this is a great time, oh God, for me to begin to speak my mind about certain things. Because anybody can talk about starvation and hunger. And we might want to hear it more from a doctor, the real effects that it has on a human being after so long. I don't care, any living organism that doesn't have its essential nutrients and vitamins that it needs to continue to survive every day. Yeah, it can have health effects. And then some countries, they know the health effects. I mean, it's advertised. They just still eat what they want to. They eat. That's a whole nother conversation. But we can work on that as a whole, as a collective. When we see stories like this, we can be a little more sensitive. It should make us think in our homes. Am I eating greedy or gluttonous? Am I being, I don't want to call it, because that's what I said. It's a good time to bring up how I feel about certain, I have a whole other perception about certain things. Like when people be like, that ain't dinner. Well, that's understandable if you're talking about something like a bowl of cereal or something that's not a full course meal to people. I do understand that statement. When you say something is not dinner, anything. I wouldn't care if a person is eating a tuna fish sandwich. And you tell them, well, that ain't dinner. You need some real dinner. That is, it's like, it's beautiful. It's a nice thing to care about somebody in that way. But I'm telling you, eating something like a tuna fish sandwich versus what the people in Gaza are going through right now. That's what I mean. My perception has been that the whole time people could literally be like, judge you off of what you're eating. But don't get me wrong, we are what we eat. How many of y'all agree with that? Hit that like button when you can to show your support. I'm not trying to say what the people will agree with all the time either, listeners. That's not what speaking the way I do is about. Speaking in a way that everybody, that's something I am learning about that. You know what I'm saying? Speaking is not just about saying what people want to hear. And because it's been like that, a lot of stuff get missed, overlooked, because everybody just hearing what they want to hear. Like, nobody's hearing what's really needs to be said through the message. But hunger, man, the farmers been coming out. Even since before the pandemic, they were coming out talking about how they had kind of been struggling on the farms, especially when prices went up. Maybe food for the animals, fertilizer, a lot of stuff they needed out there. Now, I'm not a farmer, but farmers feel free too, because we're going to need it. Some people, we just have to remember that you don't down nobody for what they don't know yet. Period. Because I'm not going to, you don't just want to do it too hard. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, make them understand the seriousness of what they don't know and how lacking that could cost them. Make it, be assertive about what you're trying to teach people. For sure, I agree with that. When you need to be. But now is still a good time. Look at what's happening in Gaza right now. If you haven't already, to be learning from even me. I learned from me. I mean, that's crazy. I know people look at my life and learn from me because I learned from me. And what do I mean when I say I learned from me? They have always said that about the struggle. Like, it shows how much how much it took them through if they don't want to be that close to it again. It's crazy. They say that's what actually keeps a lot of people, quote unquote, motivated or running from the struggle. Once they touch coming up or get close to changing their situation, oftentimes people do stay at that level however they can because they are not trying to feel the effects. They know what the struggle is like. That's more than struggle though. People don't understand when something bigger like the docks or the entry stations of how food or aid or medical supplies, that can happen anywhere at any time. We all saw it during the pandemic too. For a little while, there were little docks and shipping containers and stuff like that that were literally put on hold, weren't they? That's the whole reason some of there was a shortage at the stores. But once again, this is a topic where we want to be insightful about it. So it's like, I was wondering that, were we going to learn anything from what certain crises have already showed us? That's what I mean. And really, nobody, I'm going to say it for the sake of this, thinking about this in the future. Uh, Trump is the kind of president, we got to give him that. People totally got extra food stamps the last time we had a national crisis. Personally, people got extra aid. It was less of you hearing this and that was cut off during something like a national or global with the COVID-19, a global pandemic. When that was going on, you didn't hear so much was being cut, and it shouldn't take that. It seemed easy to talk about. It's a humanitarian topic. Um, it make you wonder at the end of the day, like, how far do stuff have to get, and why does it have to get so far for assistance eventually to be distributed? If people didn't know how blessed we were during that time for our country, I'm not saying, oh, woe and bow to everybody's feet because of that. But we were a very blessed land at that time, because we got to remember the pandemic was going on all over the world. So it was up to how those different sectors of land chose to, come on, nobody's prepared for something like that. So I do notice that, like, okay, well, during it was definitely more of a crisis. People were getting sick. People couldn't go to work. We understood more tangibly why the assistance was probably offered at that time. When it came to people businesses, their home, their rent. I don't know if they had stuff for car insurance. They had a lot of different assistance. I'm sorry. Do remember I said that when it come to this topic, because we got to remind the people that straight up, and some of that stuff lasted. It was just on for 2-3 years. Something like what was that other one? The extra child tax credit, or stimulus checks. And EBT was, let's forget about for a second everybody that's complaining about that it's getting cut off places, or it might be getting cut off. Nobody can really say nothing about that, in my opinion. But this is just, a stream where I give my thoughts on real life topics that affect us all every day. Or I'd look at it like a lot of this stuff I talk about can happen to anybody. That's the thing about being a humanitarian at the end of the day. Understanding that. I mean, you can plan and move around. Even a lot of people are seeing it. It don't matter what money class you're in. Life is life. It's been that way the whole time, and it can happen to anybody. Should it happen the way it happens, a lot of this stuff is preventable. Some of the sufferings and pain, sitting there watching those stories over there, what's going on in Gaza with the people having to fight and trample over each other to try to get to food just because it's there. You got people act like that, man, at restaurants just now, just because they have to wait in line. I'm glad I'm actually getting a second to talk about what I see sometimes. Like, people would trample over you just to get at Chick-fil-A because they're waiting too long. But it's really people starving and hungry somewhere tonight. If you needed some inspiration, you going through something tough out there, I could think of a few things I thought I was complaining about until I seen, and it shouldn't have to be stories like that humble us. Even as humble as I am, still I could be humbled every day. But I just prefer the way God does it. If I'm not getting a lesson out of what I'm going through, to me, what am I going through? Like, I don't know. I'm just at that level of life now. But yeah, for sure, condolences and effects. I didn't have to know the people that lost their lives. Just imagine being, you just went. They're saying it on the news like, hey, we're going prepared when we go get in these lines for food. We're going prepared literally to die. They already talking like that. That's how bad it was. When you got that many people lined up hungry and they heard that it's tent set up with water and food. I saw some of them have like big bags of, what is that, like multi-meal, or they was giving them flour, oil. I don't know why I was being nosy, kind of looking in the boxes on the videos of what they were providing, because anything is better than nothing when you are starving and hungry. In third world countries, like I said, it's not new, so people might say this ain't a new topic. But it is in current day society. It reminds everybody how quick that can happen. Anyway, you don't want to say, well, they may or may not cut off food stamps, to think about how you were going to eat already. Had you already asked yourself, can you survive off of rice? Because I'm telling y'all, that's what are in those survival boxes. When that time comes, and any natural disasters a country could be going through, it's going to be like rice, oatmeal. It's not your everyday oatmeal cakes, Chick-fil-A. That's what I'm already trying to get people to remember and think about here now, out of love. You were always eating, even if it ain't Chick-fil-A, in the Cheesecake Factory, and Outback Steakhouse or IHOP. It's still food. I don't even think, when you go out to eat, you still got to be careful with food. That's just food. That's why they have to have certain license, certain certification to even work with the food. In any place that doesn't have that, that's exactly what I'm talking about. We don't know if everybody be operating the way that they're supposed to, even in the industry of food. That's been something we were taught in the olden days. Bless your food. Just pray over it. It ain't nothing wrong with sending a little prayer up to the heaven. Like, even if you whisper among yourself over your food every time you eat, no matter how good you think you eating. That big juicy Angus burger could have any type of toxins and poisons in it, naturally and unnaturally. So that's just what I'm not just talking when I say that. I believe in blessing our food. Some people do it different at the dinner table. They gather together and they hold hands, or some people remind their kids, hey, say your prayer over your food. How many of y'all still do that? Because I think it goes a longer way than what people know. So, but what I was finna explain is maybe there's another way. I feel like it's, as long as a prayer is sincere, it flies with God for real. And flies is not a little statement when it's a pure intentional like that over your food. Like, you even stopped and took time out your day, whether everybody see it or not, to think upon yourself. I want to bless this food because I don't know what might be in it. Woo, woo, woo. Some people, maybe we do that as we grocery shop. You already praying over the items you throw in the cart. I was just wanting people to know that's not strange. It's still some of us out here very well much bless our food. I'm just saying it's a good time to bring it up because that's before starvation. That's before, because to me, starvation is not, well, I'm not eating what I want to eat, but I'm eating. That's not starvation. Because you don't have 1,000 options like you used to every day. It's really not starvation. You can eat a can of corn really, and it's dinner. People just don't think like that anymore. I don't know what they thought they were eating on those voyages when they used to ride in horse buggies and horses before they were cars. Why am I bringing it up? Because people still had to eat when they traveling, just like people travel today. We just get there more conveniently. Trains, cars, airplanes, and people still eat as they travel. You're gonna be a very hungry person trying to do a voyage on a horse with 10 other horses with you and animals. That's how I think I'm gonna survive when I go back to thinking about how predecessors might have did it every time. Anytime I get discouraged about something, and it was never as bad as we thought, as convenient as we have it today. It just never is. Even for you to have the self-will power to get up and try to do something. Like, anyways, like I said, what they're going through though, that's, I'm just saying how different situations can create that, first of all. Because even if you have a plenteous buffet of food, and you think everybody eating bigger than you, or is their food blessed though? We could all be eating the same pork roast from the same place, right? And the same chef cooked it, and we all bite into it at the same time. Mm-hmm. And see, three of them other people probably didn't even think to bless the food or nothing, but we're all eating from the same shelf. We all got the same size steak and everything. And I just feel like I know what I'm talking about with this. That one person that could have blessed their food out there, three or four. And now the other three or four might feel a little poisoned. They feel sick, or some didn't sit right, and the person ate there with them. That don't always mean something wrong with them. Maybe they sat there and blessed their food. And you looking at them like they trying to tell us now that when we pray we owe an answer. Like, no, you, if my prayer was silent, my response to that prayer can be silent too. Like, silent prayers are very real, especially over your food, man. Drinks. I forgot to mention drinks, but I don't know. I don't know if people or just thought that they don't exist no more. There are still people out here that bless everything that they touch. However, their form of blessing things is. I said what I said. Because sometimes you just don't know. You don't know where something came from, even if it's brand new. You don't know what the manufacturer who touched it, put it in the box. They be thinking that you're more off limits to certain attacks if it's brand new. How? Like, it, unless it's made completely by robots, which nothing is fully like that yet. I know it's getting there. Uh, there are still other people touching it in the process of that being manufactured, boxed up, sent to the stores, put on them ships. Those cargo ships is still going through a process of other people's space. So no, you're actually, if we can bless things, I just say it's better to do it. And then some things maybe it is better left untouched, especially when it's natural. When we talk about food. Y'all didn't know they already found a way to clone meat. Don't ask me how that's possible, but well, clone the cells, clone cells like meat cells, different stuff. Which no matter how much I wanted to judge it, it just made me immediately wonder what's going on, man. Like, why would they even be trying to do that? Like, what do we need? Substitute food now? Seriously, there is hungry, 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 hungry people in Gaza right now, man. And I accentuate the hungry like that because some lost their lives. Some maybe between. I don't even think they're reporting the actual number. That's my personal opinion. I can think what I want to think outside of media coverage on stuff. But something like hunger, they're probably not even. How you finding everybody that's done died from starvation? Like, it ain't even a summer yet at that. Y'all know people need water. We all gonna need some water. So I'm gonna be one of those few. I don't care. It was one man in the Bible. He was the only one praying. I don't know which story. I know I got it off a little bit, but he was the only one praying in his whole land. Somebody can help me out in the comments though. I might have to go back and read that one for myself. Anyway, I'm gonna get something out of it because it's the reason I thought about it. And it's like, if people don't see something like a famine coming, hungry, water problems, just stuff people don't think about every day, that we have to our what? Disposal? Or we say we paid for it, so it's ours. We can treat it how we want to. We can eat what we want to. People been out here preaching about this. Hey, stock up. Get you some canned goods. Learn how to jar. I was watching those drawing video, and I'm glad. I promise. Invest in 5 minutes of your time. You'll be surprised. Invest in 5 minutes of your time in an educational video or book or newspaper article will take you a long way. I don't care. Y'all can try to tell me otherwise. 5 minutes of a book that you never touched before can change your life. 5 minutes. I ain't even just talking about the Bible, but I was talking about the man. He was the only one praying in his land, and he was able to, as the story is portrayed, negotiate with God the best he could. Like, what do? You see something coming, ain't nobody listening to you. And it's be like serious stuff sometimes, but because we know that in that same book, it is what they call prophecies about different lands and things that might be going on. That's why it's a very conspirized topic right now. It's still a trending topic. What they call the end of the world, the last days, prophecies coming forth, bursting forth, right? I used to be into the Da Vinci Code studies. That don't mean I got to go meet scholars, y'all, and talk to everybody about this. I was just always secretly intrigued with like how they say they could decode and find messages and different stuff like that in the Bible. Any ancient script that would interest me where I am now, like with being open to just more things that could probably. I just did a short saying that you can the past, if you don't understand your present or you unsure about the future, ain't no word. I ain't gonna say it's not okay to look up or look anywhere else, but the past it is worth digging in sometimes. That's where you're gonna find cause it's so crazy. I didn't never even sit and think about it like for myself. Like, do history be repeating itself? That's all it be doing. It's just happening to a different person, a different group, a different area. I'm so like over it. Really. What's new? You have a starving country, you got starving people, you have starving children. When you have wars, yet wars were prophesied. Like, even that's why I say you go back to the past, even in history, some changes did not literally happen and come forth and wouldn't be the changes they are today without wars. So it's like crazy to have to be understanding about why some of the things are transpiring the way they are in Gaza right now, while also trying to keep a full heart about like what is taking people through. Because we were seeing this with Ukraine and Russia, and then now you got the tariffs and everything. You just kind of see it and they don't say anything. What am I in control of? But then again, I felt myself speaking more. Like, it's not enough. I got to come out and speak out loud too sometimes. Write it out, however I got to get it out. Because you are living amongst history. Each and every one of us, every day. You living out what'll be to some people history one day, right now. Even if you was just a part of history, you telling people later, you sat on your couch as it all happened. That's crazy, right? You were working as a CEO somewhere as history was changing, as stuff was happening as it is right now. That's all I'm saying. And just things for us to keep in mind. I feel like, yes, keeping an insightful eye. We don't have to be eagles. I don't know where they came from, but it's true in my opinion. You don't have to be an eagle to have a bullseye. Because I don't even have 20/20 vision. But some things, it's like, maybe we have to see it because it's in our face. I don't know how long people thought anyway when there's a problem, you can just keep trying to bury that. Something like hunger and food, you might as well be honest with people. Just like, come on, man, because during the pandemic, everybody got extra assistance, if anything. Like, which they have been honest with people. Let me go back on that. They have been honest about the food, though. What I've been, come on now. Farmers and shortages. What do y'all think forest fires affect the greenery, the stuff we need to produce seeds and grow things, okay? Then people have other ways they've learned to create things or what, copy it. Plants. Maybe they can grow a whole rose. Maybe they can clone the seed of a rose. Different things like this. It still don't hurt to for us to grow and learn and make sure we're being educated about. We might find ourselves growing our own carrots. It's been 3 years now since I bought some little pots. See, I'm using myself for example. Some flower pots. People don't know what people invest in. But I knew. And it was before now. What I say about 3 years ago. So I'm finna get back on there myself. Like jarring, not the probably so much the gardening, but it don't hurt to it don't hurt the garden a little bit. Shout out to those out there on their gardening journeys and plant lovers of the world, cause it matters. Certain parts of the world are more fertile than others when it comes to certain crops. That's the same topic here. Um, Maybe in more resources, it just comes back around full circle. It make you wonder, like I said, is anything really new anymore? It happens in a new era, a new time, a new millennium, a new generation, a new area, a new body of people, a new age group. It's still the same stuff. It's the same. It's the same cycles, bro. Like, well, that's a start that we see that. Maybe I'm not the first to notice that, like, and it's just bounce around famine, because we know with the prophecy of the quote unquote um what is that, like the horses of the end times. It's just scary stuff. Let me tell y'all how long it's been since I read the book of Revelations too, where there's supposed to be all the end time prophecies. It's been a long time, really, honestly. And I can read it on the app, any device. You can go get a Bible from uh, the probably the public library. Trust me, I know, cause I already know it's a scary book. It can be looked at that way, like the way things are portrayed and talked about. Then you go research other stuff, and so I would even say that I don't need to go get a horror book. If I want to read one scary, that's already a start. Especially when people, that's when you look at it like, hey, are these events being forced so it can look like prophecy? I'm not playing with people about that when it comes to my beliefs. Get it? I'm saying deny when it's real prophecy too. But they can say, well, we don't believe in blue beam and aliens and all this other stuff. But see, prophecies and God, do people still believe in it? Or how close does it get to us where it might resemble, hey, this looked like a prophecy? Do people, why are we not talking about this more? Prophecies being unfold before any one of us on any day. Like, we can read about it in the Bible, maybe a prophet come forth, say something, a word is spoken forth to the people. Most times how it go though, I told y'all it's like a scary topic. But there's scary things already out here in the world, man. So you can't alleviate all options of conversations with this topic. Usually some time go forth, but you can't put a time limit on something like a prophecy, in my opinion. Like, you just can't do that. But sometimes it is specific too. Like, hey, in 500 years or 400 years, this, or 20 years or 70 years. Now you got to look at the years, because the years are different in everybody's calendar, right? The sun and the moon is constant. Anyways, it's so many different things to believe in, though. Would y'all agree? And I just respect when we were humanitarian, I respect the openness, actually, of all different walks of life. That's why I feel like if I was to ever entertain a strange creature, it wouldn't be scared of me. I wouldn't be scared of it. That's how much I respect the openness of, I don't know what did that to me in life, really. Like, actually, fear is a blockage when we think about it. It makes you can't go to the depths of something. Don't get me wrong, I believe some things, like I said, probably was forbidden, like we were told. Once again, what were we talking about? Prophecy. I like that movie, The Mummy, too, because it just kind of portrayed that, like how sometimes if you go against some of those scripts and stuff they was reading in the pyramids, it was sitting there telling them, like, don't touch certain things. It was probably telling them, don't be in here. Seriously. Don't dig this up, put it, just, and so they tried anyway. Just like we talked about with prophecy, does something probably happen immediately all the time? No. So they make it any less. I'm sure there have been recorded prophecies that came to pass. That's all I'm saying. I try not to do like conspiracy topics on my channel though, cause like, or you just put that more on a platform where people are more openly accustomed to that too, cause it can be touchy for some people. Prophecies, yes. Because all you can do with that at the end of the day is argue is one real or not. We're talking about the definition of a prophecy versus, I mean, let's be real. Prediction, anything else, a prophecy. And what is that? And I said prophecy with a CY at the end. We're not even talking about prophet, ET, prophetic, just prophecy. I'm just like everybody, some of us, we're going to be a part of that history. Like, I saw it from this angle. I saw it from that angle. Just like the civil rights movement. Only the people that was really there will know what being in that era, right? I'm using that for example here in the States where that was a real part of history. They call it the civil rights era. Okay? Just to put it in a nutshell. And only if you were around, like, all we can do is hear about it, see the facts, hear the stories. If you weren't there, you did not feel it like those who survived the civil rights. I'm just giving it that respect, right? So, but I am a part of the people living today and yesterday and going forward as long as I'm here. And as many of others, those have always been, we love the pioneers. Still, the ones we have today, we can still learn from too, because there's some elderly people out there. We love them too. We don't just call them elderly. I'm just so people could get a drift of what I'm talking about. But they are full of wisdom. They say that for a reason. I think I saw it a long time ago. Like, you had younger people asking, girl, why you be talking to that older lady? Or it might look weird to people, but really, you were just, you the type of person already accept people how they are. I told y'all, like, open to, if I was to meet a strange creature, it probably just, like, it wouldn't be, it's easy to say that, right? Like, how I feel like I really am right now. I'm going to respect it. It's going to respect me, bro. Like, and that's not just, like, word. Of course, anybody would want to say that. It take a lot to get to that, like, really feel like that. Okay, now you're tested. You meet a creature. Who are you? And how is it to you? Or what is the story? Y'all can think about Twilight too. Bella and Edward did not just was buddies at the beginning, because she was a human and he was a werewolf, a vampire. They were not just like buddy at the beginning. They had to, sniff each other out, kind of be around it. She barely saw the boy. But look, by the time it was over with, they done had a half vampire, half human baby and everything. And she has werewolves protecting her. So we think these just stories and books. But it teaches us something. Seriously, like, they didn't just jump off. Every friendship don't jump off like that, or long partnership. Like them, they was almost through with high school when they met. That's a long time to like not know somebody and then boom, they're in your life. Like sometimes you meet them later on down our paths and stuff like that. But with the whole EBT thing, it had made me think about it too. Like some people was already panicking or they have theirs cut off already or they're panicking already at the thought of it. Why? I'm not here to talk about that right now. I'm here to talk about look how easily a situation can turn into that. What it looks like over there right now. Like, literally. As grown, mature people, even as educational lessons for our children, because we just have it more. If we had anything to complain about, I was saying May 29th, 2025, you have something to be grateful for sure. When you go look at it, it's not even downplaying what they're going through. It's actually aid being sent there. So it's how it's being distributed too. I didn't get to talk about that, but with what's going on over there, I think that was a part of the issue. Because I guess when you have more people like that, it's just something you got to be prepared for. Like probably bigger than FEMA level, like to where it's organized, guys. Because if people are trampling out, I mean, in their, you got to have that organized. Is what this story is showing us. What I'm saying, I can't just go out to a place. I'm trying to be a help, but I'm going out here. It's like I need to go look at the numbers on that story. I know it's a lot of people. Probably I don't want to say the millions, but a lot of people. You need to have organized how everybody coming out. Make sure everybody, nobody getting left out. Make sure everybody getting something. I think they was even saying it wasn't enough, so it's a lot going on out there. So the people get to fighting. You already got people that's suffering from hunger, but then you're fighting, and people are losing their lives during the fights and trying to and stampeding and stuff. It's just sad to see, man. And I don't know what people be thinking. It don't matter what country. We saw that during the pandemic. It can happen. We had assistance though, is what people need to remember. In crisis. Certain areas did, some areas did. Some areas today still feel like, hey, we didn't get enough aid. It's kind of like that. Why is this a discussion? At least the food that it. I mean, I heard what they are getting out there. It's like U.S. backed or based. Like they're helping. And then people like, oh no, they didn't do that right. I mean, that's a part of the people too. But you can't blame them if they're hungry and starving. So. I don't know how I feel about that topic. That's why I said let me go live about it because it is, you know, it's something to think about. Why would I ever just easily give up in a place that you know you do have the opportunity if you want to get on your feet every time, even if it take you 100 times, 200 times. Some countries you only have certain rights. There was already a thing. They have certain rights with religion, uh, rights where they can speak up, different things. So and rights they don't have. So now food and hunger. I mean, and it gets crazy, and that can happen anyway. When people are hungry, they start acting up. Y'all know Snickers would be like, it's probably not even a good joke for now, but they just be like hungry. Because I know hungry, but starvation, that's more of where they already at. That's why people probably have lost their lives. That's why it's on the news. It's sad. But Snickers do say that what they used to is to be a whole slogan. Like, hungry, grab a Snickers. Hungry with a question mark. It's a part of what I'm talking about. You do not need to grab a Snickers when you hungry. You actually don't. They've already made millions, billions. Shout out to Snickers though. They used to be one of my favorite top candies though. I wouldn't just grab it if I was hungry though. I done switched favorite candies a million times. But even me, you know what I'm saying? I'm not just saying it for the podcast, but at least training yourself, like go on a purge, prepare yourself in that way sometimes, like go on a, not a purge, but like a, what's that called, a fast. It ain't nothing wrong with that, going without certain things sometimes. You actually get to see something in the middle of that transition with yourself. I don't care who you are. It's just something you're habitually used to having or being around, or like having in your environment. We're not saying this at a place for people to fear. We're saying this for real survival times, or people thinking, yeah, having food stored up is a part of it. I always said, what does that help if you still gonna have hungry people everywhere? You can have food. You can have food stored up. I mean, if you look at it realistically, I always said that anywhere. It could be in the UK, Europe, over here, Africa, Australia, any community you go to, you got those. Oh, I'm smart. I stored it up. I'm not saying it's not smart. Um, but if you still have the majority that's not in that position, that's why they end up stepping in and like, hey, we might have to take control. Like, give out rations, have people more on an orderly level. I think they probably, and we wish and hope more aid and support for them out there. I think they're going to get it together. I think they just need a little more organization with it. It's sounding like as quick as possible. Uh, you know how people are. The world been turning like that. Like, especially when something, I'm not saying these people specifically, but when something is like free or on clearance, look how people was acting for Black Friday sales. Like, already stomping over each other. I couldn't believe people still go there and do that. I've been more of a different person. Stuff would be on sale right after Christmas. He'd be like, you gotta go in and get the first ones just for Black Friday. Like, they've been doing that over certain things, y'all know. Shoes, sales. They were doing that during the pandemic for the toilet tissue. They started that back too in some places. I'm telling you, they call it panic buying, to where the stores have to put a limit. I was looking at something today, like a big mall. It's funny how everything is like industrialized anyway. Everybody going to different stores. You got a million billion different stores. You can just go shop at. That's crazy to me. I don't know what's happening with my like perception on the world. You don't want to be too materialistic is all I'm saying. Ever anyway, before a hunger crisis, like, you're going to be one of those in straight panic mode. Like, oh my God, I can't get a Chick-fil-A. You're going to have to eat what's going to help you survive. You don't want to like, oh, I only want to go through that if. What? Life got to show you if. Just be humble already sometimes anyway, like that. Um, Once again, that's a big part of what I was saying still too. Yeah, even when you have food, bless it, because you don't know what processes in transport, manufacturing, this, what you're eating went through. If you're not everybody in the world is manufacturing and growing food on their own. People, that's been a trending topic. They've been started trying to do more for themselves. Learning to do more too. Just because of stories like that over there right now. Um, and you have families and kids. That leader came on the news. That's what almost broke me down too, man. I'ma just be like, because some people would say, what does prayers do when something is very, 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 very serious? And I hear that a lot as a prayer warrior. Not everybody want to hear that through something that they're going through. But imagine me, like, life be happening to me too. Like, I'm gonna say anything else, but I'm gonna bow my head and pray too. Like, What did I say about those secret prayers? You could be sitting amongst three or four. All y'all got the same. It's actually a story in the Bible about that. How it's like a parable. Story that was used to teach the people a lesson. And the master gave them all gifts and told them to go multiply. Y'all know that story? That's really not the one I'm thinking of. The one I'm thinking of, uh, only one came back and said thank you. Stuff like that. I really always paid attention to. Like they all got their what they were promised. I know the story went something like that. And only one came back and thought to say like literally, thank you. Something so simple. I think he ended up getting blessed. If something happened, like, or he was at least got to tap into the knowledge of learning, like, yeah, you were the only one did that. So, stuff like that. People say, what does that matter? I'm just a firm believer it all means something. People don't have to believe in prayer or want to hear, well, I'm going to just be praying for them over there. Like, I wouldn't care if it's just one person. At least somebody was in the midst sending more higher positive. And yes, action counts too. That's why a lot of people take donations when they've been doing it. They have TV commercials for hungry, starving people all the time. And then people look outside and there's homeless people around them. So maybe we all give in different ways. Yeah, because some people, they just like that. If they see the homeless outside, some of us come from places like that too. That ain't strange. It ain't strange to some of us. You ain't nothing wrong with you. Some will say, don't give them money. They finna go use it on this and that. Thank God for technology. Some of them do. We know that there's been stories. Those that go use the money. But me, I always been like, I'm not finna worry about. If I'm giving you change to go get a drink or a bag of chips, I'm not finna watch you to go make sure you're doing it. I always been like that too. That's why I said when I meet creatures, we're gonna, if it ever had to happen, we're gonna respect each other. Like, what I'ma judge you for? You say you need a cup of ice. I give you way more than you need for the cup of ice. Some people have it. People don't even be wondering it. They just take it. Like that story I talked about. Do they say thank you? Anything? Uh, But you could give in that way. Maybe you don't give the extra dollar to the local fundraisers and stuff for the hungry people, or do big organization meals to feed the hungry people. But when you see somebody hungry and you know about it, and you can help do something about it, you try to. I think with that one, because that ain't even a disease or nothing. That's just how people treat it. Ain't there something? Something like being hungry. People been treated that like a disease. Some, not everybody, but y'all know what I mean. Like, oh, that person's hungry. They asked me for $1. They probably finna. It's a channel I want to shout out. He actually sheds more light on that. When they go out and kind of do like those social experiment type of stunts and stuff, maybe giving money to the homeless, or I think it's cool when they do that. I'm definitely a supporter for those type of channels. The ones that's actually helping the people out there for real. Uh, but we know with that situation, I don't know if they have ways that we can donate out there right now. I think that was the whole thing about it. Like the aid wasn't being pushed through, and then it finally, some aid came through, was able to come through. As far as the food, like the tangibles or whatever. It's also a good thing to still see in society that people step up when they see another country in need, because those are babies. I don't care if people want to be like, that's that country, that's that country. They just want to jump to world war. If you ask me, like, that's a good thing for people to come together to fight issues where they can fight them Because really, a lot of stuff can be just like alleviated. That's what peace treaties are, a real thing. Literally, coming to all it's been real. But like I said, war been real for a long time too. It's just we're more in modern day. You can't let it get you in shock when you're not the one out there fighting. Imagine what they be going through. You know, some people been on the front line already though. Like it's what you look at as war. Some people at war with themselves every day. Like then they fighting the world too. And then it's like, what's going on? War is what, seriously, because then what's the opposite of war? Peace. So it do mean something to me when I think about it. The opposite of war is peace. Ain't no in between. Like, when you forced to fight like that, that's what's involved. Hunger, they're blowing up stuff, they're messing with this and that. Yeah, kids been involved, but that leader came up and I think he shed tears. He's just like, man, it's babies and hungry babies out there. It ain't even about war tactics no more. Let the people get the babies and women out of there. I think even Ukraine and Russia was doing it at one point, like, where people were leaving their families at home to at least go fight. You know, they end up usually coming to their amends about things. But yeah, with the topic of prophecy, it's like it gets deep because it's stuff in there already. Not just in there. I'm sure all kind of prophecies all over the world on different scripts and scrolls. I'm sure. Cause it's just that when it's on there, but people don't take that serious for no reason. They haven't for all these years. Many cultures and ancient cultures have prophecies that have been spoke. That's another thing I think is interesting. Like that's what I said. I think people think when they think prophecy, it's just like Bible or holy. Yeah, definitely like a higher level. Like period. I just think it's an interesting topic, but just remembering to some people do aid like that. You know, they might not be donating to local hunger charities, but they're I like the channels too. They get out there and feed the stray animals. Shout out to all those influencers. They're not just influencers, they're a part of what still making the world great, if you ask me. Like they take their free time, just ride around. They already be having the pet food in their car and feed the homeless kittens and puppies out there because they walk around every day. That's what those channels show us. Maybe some people just do it in their local communities or they travel. You always have work doing that because people are interested in that kind of content. Not every animal, it shows us that sad reality too. Like, makes it as far as something like a shelter or a family or a home, right? So the ones that be like stray and walking around, they just go out there and feed them from the goodness of their hearts. And anyways, You Will Make It TV, shout out to those channels. We always support them over here. Uh, Anything that's contributing to the less fortunate in that way, and it's so many issues beyond that even create those. Like I said, it could be prevented. If you know overall there's a massive, because I think food shortage is something that's what a famine is. That ain't no one land. It could be. Famine is more, because I think you could use the word shortage before famine. You could use the word threaten. Famine sounds like more of a great landmass of something going on. Hunger in like great many places. You know what I mean? So yeah, it just sucks to see so many places going through that. All all in the name of war right now. What these days are history later, like I said. Thank you guys for tuning in. Remember to keep those guys over there in our positive thoughts and prayers. Uh, my channel doesn't have to be the only awareness avenue where you're looking at like, oh, can we help or how can we follow the story? Uh, that's just to open you up. As Ricky and Morty would say, open your mind, right? Go check out what's going on in the world around you because it's like a part of world news right now. And even in the States, like, hey, food stamps is already coming to a halt in some places. A whole main way that some people rely on eating, seriously. Some people, their wages are going to be garnished for student loans. It's a lot going on at the same time. That can lead to hunger that people don't think about. It won't. People say, oh, it won't lead to hunger if you're going to work. We'll see, because if maybe prices are cheaper, people can keep up with everything. We'll see. We know that you're still going to have your disabled and elderly, right, that might still need benefits, though. So we'll see how far all that outstretches and goes, because we know over time, too, if a person have a 4-year term, maybe as things roll out and get started, too, there are other... Because like I said, I mean, it's cool. It's not like putting your whole life in the president's hands like that, but there was assistance in our last just major national crisis like that. Here it was all kind of assistance to kind of help push us through to all of our next quarters. There was a time people couldn't even get out and travel like they're traveling right now, just recently. They had stay-at-home orders. Now everybody can go to work, live a little more freely. Woo, woo, woo. And you just sat back and watched people. Like, people couldn't wait to get outside. Let us get outside. Let us take the mask off. I did a short a second ago, too. It said, when you have too many know-it-alls, it suffocates the free thinkers. Sometimes the leaders have to do something, because when you're making choices for mass numbers of people, I could just imagine. That ain't no like overnight choice all the time. You got to have seen something going on or something not working or something is going on. That's all I'm saying about it. Something like that. Like, massive changes don't just happen. But yeah, I was just thinking about the disabled and you have animal shelters already that people help stay afloat different ways how they do. All kind of shelters, children's shelters. That stuff exists before war. People be knowing that stuff is out there and that people need it. I've been had a problem with that. Like, if I could be more in defense for any type of mission type programs, not ministries, whatever you want to call them, people that get together at the end of the day and serve humanitarian crisis, I would protect those. They like what? When you disarm and dismantle the branches that are outstretched sometimes to surround, like I said, you could have all the smart people done stocked up, but if you have more of a percentage of people that have nothing, that's just already asking for trouble. That's not telling people to do that and like, oh, just go steal from others when you have less than others. No, that's like a real human thing. That would probably be a natural response once persons or people, if there's not order or organization, like we were talking about with the Gaza situation. I could just imagine, going without for a while. Then you hear somewhere local in town. Then you got to get there. There was something else they were talking about with that, like having a lot of those people were walking, um, and having to go there. You're already in your probably lowest strength because you haven't had everything you need. And they have to walk to the stations, get the stuff. You're fighting through the walk. Then when you walk there, you're in a line. I just want them to know I say for my own reasons, their pain is felt and prayers are being sent. Because you never know who is praying. So your prayer could be, that's how I believe angels work too. We be angels sometimes and don't know. You think you praying for your own situation. You see? But somebody miles away was praying something that just kind of meet like coordinates. You don't even have to know that person, but y'all had like-minded hopes and dream and prayers for something that seemed almost impossible. Your prayer could have been something, their prayer theirs. That's why I say even if it's one, with stuff like famine and stuff, anybody could question faith. Like you had witches, all that different type of power and mysticism and stuff the whole time. Then you cannot doubt. Just like you say, well, where's God through moments like that? You could say the same thing with anything anybody else practice. Like, why can't their practices stop those type of issues in the world? Whatever practice it is. What one practice of anything came together and just stopped a whole. There have been things like, people went and helped in the Holocaust, like different stuff, but just made a whole difference, like stopped a whole. Because would it take a collective or just everybody individually understanding these type of issues? Preventative action is also action. So to me, that's action that you're already moving, like you're trying to prevent certain scenarios. That don't mean that scenarios won't still try to find you, but preventative action is still action. That type of action could be misunderstood by a long shot because people would be expecting you to be moving for the present or for just those moments or just for tomorrow. But preventative action is like you're moving to not be in a certain area, situation, not to let it get at a certain level anyway. That's what preventative action is. I just think, hey, do people remember that's a thing? Actually having plans and moving off those plans to prevent a whole, or what they would call dodge a bullet. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm going to wind it down because I am getting tired, but I appreciate you guys' support. Make sure you do your own research and educate yourself. These are just insightful topics and things for us to think about as things transpire on other sides of the globe too, because like the summer's just getting started. You guys have a good evening. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to show your support. And until next time.